All right. Welcome to another edition of Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting. I'm your host, DJ Impact, and I got the Vegas Bad Boys here with me. Good evening, fellas. We are coming right off of the Champa Bay Buccaneers. Listen.
Serious? Did you really just say that?
Hey, it is what it is. You know, I'm
happy you're
listen, like most people, let's just be real, like most people who can't stand Brady, I'm clearly the one going, hey, first off, my team's not in it, but if I have to choose a team, I'm always going to choose a team that's going against Brady. Okay? At the same time,
you would. Of course you would.
At the same time, I have to give credit. Brady's the best. He is the GOAT. Period.
I want to rewind back to the part where you said, my team didn't.
Team.
What is your team?
The Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh, okay. So should we tell the Kansas City Chiefs from last year and the year before that to rescind your bandwagon application?
Hold on. The Chiefs last year, yes. The year before, it was the Rams because the Rams is his team because, you know.
I forgot.
You guys are full of bullshit. You're all full of bullshit.
We're not full of bullshit.
I never said nothing about the Rams. And I always listen.
You were sitting here watching the Super Bowl rooting for the Rams because, well, you're from LA. But
everybody roots. Okay, who did you root for, Matt? Because your team wasn't in there.
Yeah, I rooted for Brady, and he won.
Okay, that's just my point. That's still not your team. Same thing with me. I chose a team that I went with, which was KC. They're not my team, though.
Yeah, but you didn't have the Las Vegas Raiders until this year.
Because they became the Las Vegas Raiders this year.
Oh, you're so full.
Shut the fuck up.
You're in the mute.
Yes, it's finally happened.
Love it.
Oh, man. All right. Anyway, let's get the show started. You guys are something else, you know.
No words. I have no.
All right. We still had a ton of wrestling that happened this past week, and we'll kick it off with Raw. And that was coming right off of the Royal Rumble. Man, was there anything exciting about the show? I mean, I watched it going, man, is it anything? I mean, I was excited to see Damian Priest debut, but was there anything that really, and yes, of course, we could talk about Alexa Bliss, but this is a 3-hour show. So what else really stood out to you guys doing Raw this past week that's, worth mentioning?
Pretty much the Edge World Tour of WWE wrestling throughout the week. It started off with Monday Night Raw, and it went exactly the way we all thought it would. Edge is not going to face Drew McIntyre, but
yeah.
But it was excited, and that's probably why he won't face him. But Sheamus wants to face him.
Well, Sheamus will face him on the 21st here in 2 weeks.
Yep.
That's your get over, your bridge gap till WrestleMania.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
They're no longer friends, by the way. I don't know if you knew that, Impact. Just wanted to let you know. That was big for Raw.
I mean, it was cool to see Carlito.
Yeah.
I mean hey,
that's true.
And again, I like I said last week, it's awesome to see that he clearly went to the same personal trainer as Jinder Mahal, because dude is yoked.
Steve, you don't know how to pitch anything. You need to go, and clearly he's on Rep Sports. Rep Sports. If you put in the code Vegas.
Repsports.com, promo code Vegas at checkout, man. He's God knows how many times he's used the promo code. Why aren't you?
He's on something. So that must be it for sure.
Well, he was on Jeff Hardy's team. So that's the first thing he was on.
Yeah. Well,
I wonder what if they do choose to keep him around. I mean, what's he really going to do? He can't bite apples and spit them on people.
Well, they got rid of the apple. Like he lost that whole thing. He had it going into the Rumble, and then the next night it's gone. So no more apple, no more Hawaiian shirts. He's not Caribbean cool anymore.
No.
He's like Guadalupe gas
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
Now,
What did they call the Cologne boys for a little while there, where they were glorified timeshare salesmen?
Yeah.
What was the name of that team?
I don't
What
know.
were the name of them? Yeah, I remember that.
Oh yeah, it was definitely, it happened, but I can't tell you for the life of me what the hell the name of the team is.
Right.
Yeah.
That
Unforgettable.
was actually a funny like gimmick for them. Like, why would you be timeshare? You know, reps. It was just funny. You're right. It was just, they were selling that.
Yeah, like they were selling the idea of Puerto Rico, which I'm sure is an amazing place. I've never been.
Sure, yeah.
I've only seen video and images, but yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
yeah. Oh well, nonetheless,
Yeah.
great to see Carlito back for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. And yeah, go ahead, man.
I would say the only thing I could think of as far as Carlito, and this is really a long shot because he just got here, is have him get in a feud with Bobby Lashley, and Bobby Lashley just choke him out and go also aggressive as he did with Riddle, to where
Well, he was.
he not side him before, you know.
He did go ham on Matt, like seriously.
He need a couch to lay on and talk somebody. That's what he need to do.
You know, I mean, it's pretty interesting that with all that strength and muscle that Lashley have, that he hasn't been pushed more to, you know, how Vince liked to have those guys in those positions, in the Lesnar, you know, positions. Why Lashley doesn't get there, and it can't be, well, because he can't talk. I mean, Brock doesn't talk. Does he need a Heyman? And he's got MVP. You know, why not use that, your next big guy, to elevate, do what he did to Matt, but wreck shop with other, you know, wrestlers around Raw. Make him the big guy. Make him be viable to go against Drew to the point where maybe he actually does take down Drew. It's not like he can't. Am I off on this, or?
Oh, he's always physically capable of doing it. The problem is you can give you can give the man a carrot, but doesn't mean he's going to make carrot juice out of it. No offense, I love Bobby Lashley, but I feel like he's there for the chase, not for the goal. I'm just being honest, and I like Bobby Lashley. I just can't see him anything. That's why I like him with the United States title, because right now the United States title, I mean, let's be honest, okay? It took John Cena having a U.S. Open title championship to really make that championship kind of really sing in the last, 7, 8 years, maybe 9 years. And there's nothing against the people who've held that title. It's a very prestigious title. But I'm saying, like, it's tough because unless you have it be on a total different show, I don't understand why it seems to be on Raw, but yet it's still all about.
Because the IC belt's on SmackDown?
Yeah, but I feel like the IC belt gets a little bit more shine on this Fox product. I'm not going to talk about SmackDown in the past.
Everything gets more shine on the Fox product.
Well, true, but I'm just saying. I mean, you know, I just feel like
you can't have a U.S. title and an Intercontinental title on the same show. It's the same fucking title.
I get that, but I'm just saying I've noticed that the IC title seems to get more shine and the current format now between Raw and SmackDown.
And Simon Street, thank you, because the timeshare tag team was the Shining Stars.
There you go, Shining.
Thus,
Shining Stars Resorts or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, like you just saying, you know, that one title gets a particular amount of shine over another.
Yeah.
Just goes to show how everything kind of feeds to each other.
Yep. Michael's give that look like, okay.
All the time, man. This is his face.
But I did enjoy Alexa. Of course, she's walking up and Orton's coming down. That little stare of Orton pretending like he just don't, see her. I love moments like that when they cross each other that way. And then this is one thing WWE has to love about this. If anything that they have to like during this time of the pandemic is just how they can use this, I guess, cinematic feature. Because just watching how they did that whole thing with her, seeing that blood kind of, come out of her mouth, just appear. I mean, it was cool.
That viscous liquid.
Yeah.
And it's even more complex, kind of, too, if you think about it. The coolest thing is that now you've incorporated the whole John Cena Fiend thing with Alexa Bliss.
Mm-hmm.
Because as she walked up and she passed them by, and she's standing there, the coolest thing is that he couldn't see her.
Oh, you're funny.
Hold on. Sin City Steve, I think what Michael is trying to teach us all how to sell a joke. Roll those sleeves up. Get you a towelette for your forehead. You putting in that work.
Well, no doubt, man. I mean, that was pretty much Raw. But did you guys at Damian Priest? You thought he had a pretty strong debuting for that show?
I mean, his arrow hit the screen like it was supposed to.
You know what I was hoping that they were going to do with that whole arrow? I was hoping that, when he did that, somehow, I don't know, like somehow that arrow would have went across the LED screens and then maybe boomerang back into the main screen and then blow up. Is that too much? All right, Sin City Steve, think I've lost my mind. Why not? You got all those LED screens. They use those screens for some interests. Why not make the arrow do that? That would have been awesome.
Because magic is the Fiend's gimmick.
Yeah.
And we got to see the 10-year-old picking his nose.
Exactly.
I didn't see that. I didn't catch that. Was there a kid picking his nose?
I don't know.
Oh,
it might have been. I don't know.
Man.
You actually pay attention to the people on the screens? I never pay attention to them.
She couldn't see him.
Oh boy! All right.
A lot of mercy.
Nah, man. Love
Hey,
it.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I love the commitment.
Okay. Last thing I'll mention, for the number one contenders for the women's tag titles. So Lana wins that one with Naomi. Now we know that's not going to go anywhere, but still, I mean, there's just some love for just giving Lana some shine. Would you say? You all are no.
I
No?
guess
Okay.
not.
All right.
No.
There's your
Okay.
answer.
Good to see.
No, I mean, so the thing is, she was put through a table like 10 weeks in a row. She was treated like an absolute geek for the better part of 2 months. And what happened? She was supposed to be getting a tag team title shot. Obviously didn't get that. Okay.
Mhm.
And then, the person ends up replacing her as Charlotte fucking Flair. And then obviously they win the tag team championships. So it's really, she has no credibility as anything right now.
Mhm.
Except for the fact that Nia and Shayna have the belts. That's all. Because it's continuation of the story. That's
It is.
all.
Right.
It is. But I'm just saying, like, why should we take them seriously whatsoever when, like I said, she was put through a table 10 weeks in a row and never really got her revenge?
I don't know. The same reason we should take Miro seriously when he gets handcuffed to a fucking ring rope during a wedding.
Jesus. We'll fucking talk about that horse shit clusterfuck in a bit.
That family's batting 1,000 this week.
So do you think after the show she calls him up and like, so Miro, I mean, is your shit just as messed up as ours over here?
People like both getting fucked.
Seriously, both of them are just completely in a terrible situation.
Yeah.
I mean, she probably called up and said, "Hey, that was supposed to be our wedding outfit you wore." Guy wears the same goddamn outfit to every wedding, apparently.
Right. Yep, I actually read that too. Well, okay, so we wait till we get over There you go. All right. So that'll be Raw then. Impact Wrestling. It was definitely a good show. They're definitely pushing the No Surrender Impact Plus pay-per-view that's going to be happening this Saturday on the 13th. So they was putting a lot of matches of that together. They started off the show. I'm assuming, Ken Shamrock has now been indefinitely suspended because when the show went off the air last week, he started just attacking the refs, the security, and Scott D'Amore was like, and see, he rolls with Sami Callihan, and Sami couldn't even stop him. In fact, he even punched Sami. So, Scott D'Amore was like, look, Sami, you can't control him. And what he did was just something that can't happen. He's done. He's done.
Get to the goddamn point.
That's funny. So, yes, Ken Shamrock is definitely suspended, man. Damn. So we had that. There was a match with Eddie.
Eddie, he actually believes that Shamrock has been suspended. That's the best part of this.
Well, who actually believed that?
You.
It's a storyline. What are you talking about? I'm going along with it.
The way you talk as a fan, brother, sounds just like you believe. Like the fact that Bravo was shot.
Yeah.
And that Stu Young can turn into 3 different people.
Listen, man, you have to suspend belief, man. Just go with it, okay?
Bro, it's still real to him, okay?
It's Christmas every time he watches Impact Wrestling. That's the thing.
How else are you supposed to watch wrestling unless it's just horrible?
Like Steve
it's like,
and I do. Like Steve
how do y'all do?
That's the best way to watch wrestling.
Oh, right.
Wow.
Stoned, right? Oh, man. All right. What else we had going on there? There was a match. There was a match with Rosemary and Crazy Steve. Well, first off, they're a team. They're called the K, and they were going against Triple XL, which is AC Romero and Larry D. So after the match, they had this match, and Larry D apparently wanted to have some words with Rosemary. Why? Because when we talk about continuity, Steve, Rosemary was the one who had that potion that sprayed on the Larry D, which actually took a shot at Bravo. So although they're kind of done with that storyline, we thought Larry D has some issues with Rosemary on his way up, and he wanted to put hands on her, but he couldn't. But there was a female that said, well, I could put hands on her, and that was Tenille. So now Tenille's going to team up with Triple XL in this upcoming pay-per-view against Rosemary and Crazy Steve. So, a little interest there. That should be a pretty good match there. There was, what are you laughing at, Matt Michaels? You need to go put in the corner,
Your commitment to selling the fact that match is going to be a good match was beautiful.
Oh, man.
Sounds like a first-class grade A piss break to me.
You know what? We're gonna get on your show in a minute, since
okay?
There was many.
It was about an hour and a half worth of piss break.
And a half.
Oh, man.
Only 30 minutes was good.
Wait, say it again, Simon.
He said an hour and a half. Said only 30 minutes of it was good.
Yeah,
dude, the show's on Wednesday this week. You know how typically, like Brian Alvarez put it the best that I've heard anybody put it. Typically, when there's a great show or 2 great shows on Wednesday night, it's almost like scoring a fight 10-9. But no, this was literally a tie at 9-9. No one won the fucking night. No one won the fucking round. Neither NXT nor AEW were blow-away shows. So the spoiler alert, the final segment and the final match of AEW saved the entire show.
Interesting.
So in other words, all they had was their final match. There you go.
So there was the match where there was Susan versus Jordan Grace. Now, of course, Jordan Grace, her sidekick is Jazz, and Susan's sidekick is Kimberly and Deonna Purrazzo. Now, of course, that's 3 of them, and then there's 2 of Jordan Grace and Jazz, which means they needed someone. And guess who made the return? ODB. Yes, she came out to help. Oh, come on. That's not yeah, that's exactly what she did also.
I'm just laughing because of how you said it. I'm just laughing because of how you said it.
Hey, well, she came back to Simon Street. She did all those moves that you just did, all of them.
But she did, other than kicking ass. I'm like, right. Warming them up. What's going on?
Yeah, well, she came, she helped out the other 2, and there you go. I mean, I guess she's back. You never know who's going to show up now on Impact Wrestling. Perfect example. There was that match against TJP and Rohit, just a regular match. Of course, if Rohit was to win, then he gets to have a X Division title at the upcoming pay-per-view, and somehow he did win. How? Because Mahabali Sheba, yes, Mahabali Sheba, yes, came back. Now, who is him? He is the guy, his partner for Desi, his squad. Am I not saying his name right? Probably not, right?
I have to.
Y'all losing it.
Please, let me ask. Yeah. Is that an alternative if I'm not using jasmine rice? Do I use the Bobby a la Sheba?
It could be.
Okay,
it could be.
Well, I want to know. Okay. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, his old partner from Desi, his squad, came back and helped him win the match. So with that, now he will get that title shot against TJP. So that was pretty much the show. It was cool. I mean, you know, I was more entertained than some of the other Wednesday night shows that actually came on, but that was your Impact Wrestling. If you get a chance, you're not doing nothing this Saturday, the day before Valentine's Day, order No Surrender. Should be a pretty good match there.
Yeah, and watch your significant other get pissed at you that you ordered a pay-per-view for $40 and you're only taking her out for steak and shake for dinner.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. She's got to understand
dollar menu.
She has to understand where the true love is.
Well, I tell you what, you better have some true lotion and candles for your alone time, because that ain't gonna be the ticket if you thinking that a hot date should be skipped over some wrestling. I love me some wrestling, but not on Valentine's Day.
True love is found in a 20x20 ring.
There you go. Preach, brother. All right. Simon Street, what was happening over there in the world of NXT?
Well, in NXT, Edge continued his world tour.
Okay.
Also celebrated Bring Your Husband to Work, Beth Phoenix. It was definitely, let's say, a centerpiece, but he became the centerpiece because, as Sin City Steve said, AEW NXT didn't have any outstanding things going on, although there was stuff being done at NXT. It just was kind of regulatory. It wasn't nothing. They're preparing for their takeover show, Vengeance. So, you know, a couple of things that I did want to talk about that I thought was really cool was seeing Escobar versus remember this guy's name,
Kurt Stallion.
Thank you. I was going to say Stallion, but I wanted to give him some credit. Kurt Stallion. It was interesting, the whole element, and I didn't even catch it at first with having, I guess her new name is now the Angel of Doom. I don't remember them ever calling Scarlett that, but I was digging it. Haas was on a platform with some smog machine back there working for like a whole 45 minutes. She was looking just beautiful as usual and ominous. And it's interesting where that storyline is going to come because, you know, after that match, you know, Karrion Kross comes out and, you know, has some words. And so I'm interested where it was because for a long time, you know, Phantasma wasn't even affected. He was just like, you ain't gonna do shit. And I was like, all right, dude's kind of gamey. And then it's interesting towards the end, how he says you could go now. And then all of a sudden his face changed. So I'm wondering where that's gonna go. I'm just very interested. I would have never seen, of course, Matt Michaels is shaking his head because he's the prophet of all that is wrestling. He knows where this is going to go. Can you just touch?
It's not going to the 205 live title.
I know it's not going to 205 title, but I'm just saying, I thought it was interesting because ordinarily the person who's holding the cruiserweight wouldn't be in a storyline ordinarily with
Have
someone.
you caught on yet that they're not doing your typical thing with Cross? Because Cross this week had a confrontation with Orton over fucking Twitter about Orton calling him up, and then you had him confront Edge back there.
Well, I
And
didn't
then
get,
you had him
but
confront
yeah.
Santos. I mean, it's man, it's
Well,
equal opportunist fucking ass kicker. That's what it's come down to.
They're getting him primed for the main roster.
yeah, and
Yeah.
thank you for saying that because I was going to say, especially with the interaction what he had with Edge, to me was clearly okay. I don't know what you're going to be doing after Vengeance, but clearly you're going to be either on SmackDown or Raw. I truly believe because everybody's talking about Karrion Kross. I just want to take a moment to just dig that screwdriver just in a little bit deeper. There were people who work for WWE receive a W-2 from them, in fact, to file the taxes. I remember that individual saying that nobody's looking for Karrion Kross, or at the time, Killer Kross, in WWE. And sure, I tell you what, not only is he really making a name for himself, a lot of people want him. So I'm just going to say that person knows who exactly you are. I just want to say, man, I told you so.
If he's listening, I'm sure he would have a rebuttal.
Oh, I'm sure he will. Come bring it. Like Big E say, want some, come get some. He just say it a little better than John Cena.
Well, listen, I will say I did like that interaction with Cross. And I mean, he said, look, I'm going to give you the gift of time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And all that's going to do is give you more of the inevitable, which I'm like, it's just dope.
Mm-hmm.
And then just told him to run along. I mean, it was crazy. It's like, we know when he says that, it's like, that's right. You're going to back it up. It's not even a joke. Yeah. So yeah, that whole thing was great.
I will also say this, that, the final match, the main event, Timothy Thatcher, Tommaso Ciampa, Cole and Roderick Strong was a very good match. Very obviously hard hitting. I really do like Timothy Thatcher. I think I've said it before. He was somebody I slept on when he first got in. I really am turning into a fan. And I really do like him and Tommaso Ciampa. It's just kind of like you took two, I don't know what to call them, like goons that just like hit squad, and they're of age. They're supposed to retire, not really, but they just look like two old dudes. Shit done. They take out the trash. You call them.
They're both 26, dude.
Yeah,
I know, they look old as fuck. I mean, they look up there, but they handle business. My point is, I'm saying is these dudes are certified badasses. If you already didn't know, and seeing them two team up together, I like it. I get excited. And so at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do after the Dusty Cup. There's more debate on what would happen, but I want to see what happens. I'm pretty sure they'll probably etch their name in the Dusty Cup.
Possibility. Let me ask you guys, did you guys enjoy the whole storyline behind, is it Tion Shaw? Is that how you say that? Okay, what is it, Sin City? Or is it Tian Shaw?
No, she's 1,000 years old, man.
Yeah, she is. She's 1,000 years old.
She killed her brother.
Yeah.
And as if anybody at home was wondering why all she ever does is sit down, you really have to think, what the fuck else would you do if you were 1,000 years old?
But I also want to know, Steve, is she a shapeshifter? Because I'm pretty sure in the past 6 weeks she was a guy.
Dude, it's Shang Tsung.
Shapeshifter, yeah.
Shang Tsung. That's where it is.
Apparently, she was on quarantine for 1,000 years, so she's still.
So will we be if we're not fucking careful.
I wonder if in the end, and the reveal is it's Mia Yim.
You think?
Why not at this point? Fuck it.
Oh man.
Fuck it.
But I would say I did appreciate the value of how they were doing the storytelling.
No, that was done well.
I thought I was watching The Last Airbender, for a second, like the way they was doing the storyline and stuff. It was really cool,
And Beth did a good job. I feel like you really expect me to believe she's been around for 1,000 years. It was just funny.
I love how she buried that shit like right after it happened.
She did.
Clearly, Vince was not producing her.
Right.
It seems like Hunter was, because that's like something Hunter would do.
That is some shit that Hunter would say.
Oh man, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Is what is Big Boa gonna do? Because I'm waiting for Big Boa to do something, and all he been is like Kato in the Green Hornet show. Like you just there, you might kick a little ass, throw a couple punches, but bro, you ain't really getting into frame. I'm talking about the original Green Hornet. I'm not talking about the updated movie where Kato was actually kicking ass all the time. But anyways, my point is I'm interested to see where that storyline goes, because they did put a lot of work into that introduction, that backstory.
Well, it's going live on Broadway. Disney's producing it in the year 2024.
Is it Mulan 2? Is that what it is? Mulan 2?
Oh man. Anything else, man, over on NXT?
Just pretty much kind of just preparing. I mean, obviously, this is going to be fun. Again, this is the season of love in wrestling is synonymous. Almost, how many wrestling pay-per-views are we going to have on Valentine's Day? 2? 3? 2 or 3? 2. I'm talking about the weekend, right? The weekend, Valentine's Day. That's what I mean. The weekend of Valentine's Day,
You got 2.
Yeah. So 2. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
What happens? I mean, I'm going to watch this takeover. Why not? So it was a good show.
And don't forget that on Valentine's Day, it will be 22 years since Vince wrestled Austin and Big Show debuted, coming up through the bottom of the ring in the cage at Valentine's Day Massacre.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? That's almost as memorable as on SmackDown. They're mentioning 1,000 times that Hulk Hogan was going to talk about the memory that was him and Andre the Giant. But we'll get to that when we talk to SmackDown, because that was memorable, apparently. We needed to be reminded.
All right. Well, look, we'll move right over into AEW. Before I get over to you, Sin City, I will say one thing that I enjoyed, and that was Jade's promo. That I did enjoy. And you know what I think about? Tell me if I'm wrong, guys. She's probably the one that I think Triple H is probably would keep his eye on and just going to wait for AEW maybe to give her enough time to really build her up, because she's definitely destined to be a star within that. And then eventually snag her up and bring her over, because she's a star. I mean, I don't know.
You just made a very good point. And that is the question of, well, why didn't the WWE already sign her?
Mm-hmm.
And you brought a lot of value to that statement. And that is, use AEW, the competition, to build her up.
Yep.
Instead of, because she was very green.
Mm-hmm.
So let her get a lot of experience being in front of a camera, etc. And then if it comes that they're not going to give her more money, she doesn't fit in or whatever.
Yeah.
Because right now the biggest problem with her is, look at that roster. How do you pull her off with all the smaller women and maintain that, the first loss she gets to one of the smaller women, now you got to scramble and understand how this monster could lose to that person. And WWE, they could imagine all the fucking feuds they could run with her. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I got to be honest. I really don't like her with the blonde hair. I like her like with her regular brunette hair. That's just a style choice for me. But yeah, she has capability to be badass. That's all I'm gonna say about her. Just putting in my 2 cents for what it's worth.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was our fashion police segment by Simon Street. Apparently has watched a little bit of Queer Eye for the Straight Guy and has really inspired himself to become a fashion critic.
Yeah, you guys know I'm gonna be starting a makeup tutorial. Except for me putting makeup on myself, I'm gonna put it on Matt Michaels. I'm a makeup tutorial. If I can make my makeup game make Matt Michaels look appeasing to the public,
You put a makeup on a pig, pig still pig.
talk about yourself, man. It's all good, bro. I mean, I ain't here to judge you.
Oh man. Well, look, Sin City. That's pretty much. I just wanted to start off with that. I enjoyed that promo, but man, kick off the show, man.
Yeah, man. So I just want to talk for a second about that
Mhm.
Jade promo.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, she is really getting a lot done as far as character development.
Right.
And what a way to have your first major match within the company. I don't believe
Mhm.
that she's worked a match on Dark. So for her very first match within the company to be, you know, this mixed tag match, I think
Mhm.
that it's a huge stage and it's a great opportunity. I do have to, you know, obviously the women are going to be good. Shaq has experience in a Royal Rumble match like 10 years ago, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Outside of that, who knows what all he's going to be able to do. So Cody better bring his fucking working boots. That's all that I can really say. Because he's going to have to carry that match. And
Right.
I think he's up to the challenge, but you know, we'll have to see what's up with that.
What's the chance if we get some kind of swerve right before the match starts, which doesn't allow Shaq to participate, and they fill in with, you know, some surprise name or something like that? What do you think about that actually happening?
So here's the thing is, I don't think that would actually happen. The reason being is Shaq is actually doing his NBA stuff. So he has NBA commitments. Otherwise, this match would have actually occurred on pay-per-view. So according to what Meltzer has said, and I know obviously Meltzer, but that's a big reason why this match is taking place on an episode of Dynamite for free, as opposed to on pay-per-view. Everything that has been talked about is saying that there's not going to be any kind of a change to the match, at least on Shaq's side. The other thing that you have to think about too is, you know, Shaq, they're using this as a mainstream sports appeal, and you know, bringing him in is going to bring in outside eyes from, you know, other mainstream viewers. So
Well,
I think that
it did bring in some outside mainstream viewer eyes from the WWE, who just today on Sunday had Miz with Shaq at the Super Bowl. So, hey, you know, good job. They're getting the attention.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see what happens, but I think that it's very interesting to say the least. So,
Yeah.
So anyway, show really kicks off with the tag team battle royale, if you will, and Jericho and MJF win the match. Whatever.
So let me just ask you one thing.
This was not normally AEW is at least halfway coherent when it comes to their battle royals, and they do a pretty decent job with them most of the time.
Yeah.
I was not a fan of this match whatsoever.
I agree.
So
Yeah.
I didn't mean to step all over your Impact. What were you about to say?
Oh, no. I actually stepped over you. My apologies. But one of them, either Jim Ross or someone, I thought, and tell me did you hear this too? I thought they said that if one of the tag team members get thrown over, then that disqualifies the tag team. I remember, I even went back to play that. And then I'm still what? Yeah.
Jim fucked up. It's as simple as that, because he just said what he probably his brain went to, which was WWE.
Yeah.
He fucked up.
Yeah. Because I was like, wow. Obviously, that's not what it is.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah. Okay. I thought I was tripping when I heard that because he was loud and clear about that, and it was definitely not what was happening.
Someone
at
needs
the
to
time.
get that man some barbecue sauce. God damn it!
By
Yep.
God.
Yeah.
All right. Also of note on the show, Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker. I thought that this match was a great match between the two of them, and I think that they did a good job of protecting Thunder Rosa as well because of the referee stoppage. Obviously, Baker sent Rosa into an exposed turnbuckle and then locked in the lockjaw. Referee saw that Thunder Rosa was already out, so referee stopped the match as opposed to Thunder Rosa tapping out. So you made Britt Baker look extremely strong, but also you protected Thunder Rosa by going that route. So I think that was really smart booking on that.
You think quick question, do you think that after all these years in wrestling, they would figure out a way to secure a turnbuckle where no one could pull it off?
Right.
Hey,
That'll never happen.
Suspend relief, or what did you guys call it earlier? Reality.
Suspend your disbelief.
I'm sorry, DJ. I'm sorry to ruin that for you.
Stop it.
Elsewhere, I mean, Matt Hardy and Hangman Page beat Chaos Project. Whatever. Literally just whatever.
Yeah.
This Matt Hardy gimmick is not. I'm not sold on it whatsoever. The sooner that Hangman Page can distance himself from Matt Hardy, the better.
I agree.
Hangman Page can distance himself from AEW. Better right now.
That is true too.
As of late, since the tag team breakup, I think that you're spot on, man. He seems like as if he's somebody that's lost in the shuffle, and realistically, he should be one of your top tier baby faces, without question. And for some reason, they're just giving him these bullshit mid-card gimmicks, and it's ridiculous. I don't know. Elsewhere, we had a fucking wedding because of course we did.
Weddings. I hate weddings. Wrestling.
Yeah, pretty much. I do have to say it was good to see James Mitchell yet again. I think the second time in 2 or 3 weeks that he's done a wrestling wedding.
Absolutely.
And obviously I did like the wrestling smart lingo being introduced in there.
Right.
Kayfabing all others. Yeah. What the fuck ever. And then obviously there's a huge gift in the ring. So of course, Miro, Kip Sabian, they think that, Charles Taylor has someone in the box, but obviously it was a misdirection because Orange Cassidy comes out of the cake and looky here, Miro's fucking foot is somehow handcuffed to the bottom rope. Whatever, man.
Was epic.
And above all else, Penelope Ford didn't even have a good cake bump.
No.
She couldn't even do a proper cake bump. Like she just got like a little bit on her face, and that's it.
That's 2 straight weeks.
Dude,
that talent in AEW could not take a fucking cake bump.
Last week it's fucking Luther. This week it's Penelope Ford. And incidentally, that just goes to show you that 2 wrestlers from the exact opposite ends of the spectrum in every way possible are deficient in their cake bump mastery.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was bad. As you mentioned, Miro was wearing the same outfit as when Roman Reigns broke up his ceremony with Lana in 2015. Continuity. However inadvertent it may have been. Lance Archer gets the win over Eddie Kingston in an extremely sloppy lumberjack match. I would have been fine if this match would have been anything else other than a lumberjack match. I thought that this stipulation really took away from this match. And it was just a clusterfuck. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Lance Archer hits his finish and it's over.
Yeah.
Whatever. It would have been much better as just a, no DQ match or a lights out match or whatever. But obviously we can't put Lance Archer into a lights out match 2 weeks in a row. Spoiler alert for what I'm about ready to talk about. So then up next was our main event, Moxley, Ray Phoenix, and Pac against Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. I'll be real. Ray Phoenix in this match, he is not of this planet. He is not of this planet. He is just too damn good. I did feel like as if, most of the other guys in the match were there just as filler. Phoenix really separated himself from the, no pun intended, Pac. Pac also did extremely well in this match though. And obviously, Omega and the Good Brothers pick up the win, pinning Phoenix. I will say this, after the match, I marked out because I didn't see this coming. I stayed away from any and all spoilers. And then, you have a masked man come out, level Moxley. And who is it but motherfucking Kenta? Oh God, here we go. Matt Michaels to shit all over anything that brings me happiness and joy in my life. As per always, this is perfectly on brand for you, Michaels. Perfectly on brand. Anyway, so Kenta hits the go to sleep. Moxley sells it in an HBK almost esque sell. And what? He hit him with it and he over dramatized the fucking sell. It was almost comical. You got Kenta right there in his go to sleep club shirt. And according to everybody that is talking about this, the door is wide open. So the negotiations are in place for a talent swap and not a partnership, but a talent exchange between New Japan and AEW. So we'll see what happens, but obviously there are people that are in AEW that want to go to Japan, but obviously, not until this fucking pandemic's over. Right. So we'll see what happens. Of course, this has a lot to do with the fact that Kenta lives here in the States. So that's why we had Kenta come out. Obviously, it ties in for the IWGP US title match between Moxley and Kenta. Mm-hmm. But that would be why we didn't see any of the other people from New Japan come in yet, and why we're not going to see them come in for, I'd say, a little while. We may see some other people from the New Japan US outfit, but that's because those guys obviously are here in the US. So we'll see what happens. And in this show, they were announcing matches for next week, and I was like, what the fuck is this horse shit that they have planned for next week? Nothing allured me whatsoever. So, of course, they don't announce this match during the show. They do it after the fucking show on social media. And obviously, Kenta comes out. Good Brothers and Omega beat down Moxley. Who else comes out but Lance fucking Archer to kind of run off the bad guys? Now, continuity, because if you think about this, it actually is smart, because Moxley beat Lance Archer for the IWGP US Championship. So it's really interesting. And that announcement for the match is that next week on Dynamite, it's going to be Jon Moxley teaming with Lance Archer against Kenny Omega and Kenta in a lights out unsanctioned match. I think it's going to be awesome. Of course, they're not going to let these guys run, and we're going to get some sort of a fuck finish out of it, but it's going to be fun to watch. And let's just hope that, they let them do some great things in this match next week.
All I heard was Jake Roberts, Lance Archer, Jon Moxley, Kenta, Jim Ross, Let's see, the Good Brothers, Pac, Don Callis. Yep, 10 former WWE guys is what you had there. So I'm glad that they're just the alternative for every wrestling fan to go to.
Well, I mean, if AEW is going to use WWE's own old weapons against them to beat them on Wednesday nights in the ratings, then sure, fuck it. Why not? Because incidentally, they did win this week, even with fucking Edge showing up on the other show.
Yeah.
Like 811,000 to 640 something. NXT actually fell 15% in the ratings.
Yeah.
AEW rose 15% in the ratings week over week. The exact same number of homes watched wrestling on Wednesday nights. It was literally, they took 15% from NXT and it went to AEW.
And they've been building this for fucking how long, this wedding, and that was their payoff. That was it.
It was fucking horrendous. I'll be the first one to say that shit.
Hold on. Can I stop for a second? When has a wrestling wedding ever been planned or not planned for a long extended period of time ever been good?
Really, motherfucker?
Programming
announcement.
There's only one that
I'll talk about it.
What's the one?
What?
No, I said I'll talk about the one wrestling wedding I like later, one day.
All right. Let me ask this question. This was called the what was it called? The beach ball?
Beach break.
Beach break.
Beach break. Yes, at the beginning of February,
so
when it's still 46 degrees out at showtime. Yeah, and they were outdoors, 46 degrees in the ring at showtime, and it only got colder.
And they weren't at a beach.
Well, that's what I was about to bring up right now, because Jacksonville has a beach, so I'm confused as to why they didn't go out there and set a ring up and do it.
I don't know. It's stupid, but I mean,
it's this. Listen, hey, it's the same reason Kansas City was allowed to play in a Super Bowl without a football team.
Oh shit!
Hey, I do. Now that you say that, Michaels, I do have to give props to the only person to ever
don't say it
win a Super Bowl and hold a WWE championship in a calendar year.
My gosh!
And that would be Rob Gronkowski.
There you go.
Who didn't really do shit the whole fucking season.
Hey,
he just woke up.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
Look what he did in the game tonight, bro. You can't tell me that you wouldn't love to have Gronk on your fucking Saints. And if you do say you didn't want him, I'd call you a fucking liar.
Oh, no. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, I just thought it was funny. Like, motherfucker, you thought you won the freaking AFC championship last week.
Bro, hey.
Right. I ain't gonna hate. I'm just saying, I'm not like Michaels. I'm gonna give people their dues.
Hey, man, he hosted WrestleMania last year. Fucking won the 24/7 championship, carried that bitch for a little while, and now he's a Super Bowl champion in a rolling 365-day period. That's pretty fucking impressive.
Well, you know what's going to be even more impressive is when R-Truth said something to that degree on Monday Night Raw. I could just hear it. He's going to say something. This is a prestigious title. We have all these people. He's going to say something about Gronk. Everybody's going to say something about Gronk this whole week. But yeah, the motherfucker woke up today. He was like, I'm going to go fucking win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Fuck it.
Props.
I mean, realistically, why not?
One last question I have.
If you can do that shit and turn that on the fly, why not?
Yeah. I ain't hate. I'm just saying.
I got a quick question on Ricky Starks. I'm not joking here. I'm curious. Is this gimmick is to try to be like a young Rock? Is that what he's trying to do? Because his whole stance, his whole promo, his whole look just reminded me of when Rock was in the Nation. Did you go back and watch that promo? I'm just curious. Is he just maybe he's a fan of him?
You want me to watch this shit again?
Not the whole show. Just watch that. Just watch that promo.
Jesus Christ! Talk about something that's just fucking awful and tedious.
Yeah.
Let's bring out Sting and Darby Allin again into the ring so that Taz can interrupt and they can just jab, and it's like, oh fuck this, man. And what does Taz's son do?
Stand out there and look lost.
I mean, -1 has a better personality.
He definitely has more charisma.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that long time ago, it popped in my head when they started having Taz's son. I said, "Oh, this is AEW's equivalent to Rey Mysterio and Dominic."
Which is
Dominic is doing work.
Yeah, doing so good over there. My final thing on AEW is, did FTR fuck Marco Stunt?
Dude, Tully was giving him the look there at the end of that segment, boy.
I mean,
all we needed were some fucking banjos to come in the background of that shit.
Tully was 1 second away from saying "squeal, boy, squeal" as they went to commercial.
So the thing is, explain this to me, because again, continuity. So FTR was banned from the Battle Royal because of what they did last week, right?
Right.
Okay. So that happened, and they were booted from the Battle Royal and barred from the building. Don't you think that a little bit more of a stiffer punishment happens when you actually kidnap a member of the roster? Call me crazy, and of course nothing will happen.
It's really
See, you're falling in line the way I watch wrestling, Steve. You're correct.
Bro, shit.
You're correct. Yes.
bad if somebody had enough balls, because I wouldn't want to have enough balls to write this. Have it to where there's an Amber Alert because he's been kidnapped. I'm just saying that would have been some crude humor. Like, I don't make no joke about Amber Alerts, by the way. I'm just saying, Marco Stunt, why not? He seems like a kid.
So SmackDown, like you said,
the views expressed on the Vegas Bad Boys podcast. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh man. All right. Matt Michaels, how was SmackDown looking, man?
Oh man, that there guy, that Roman guy that they found like 6 months ago. Oh man, good pickup. Jesus, that guy's pretty good.
Yeah.
The confrontation was everything you wanted to be, including setting up Kevin Owens versus Reigns for the blow off at the pay-per-view on the 21st.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Was that not great when Roman just yelled, "Why you want to play games?" And Paul Heyman literally jumped. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
He was scared. Paul is just as great in this whole thing as Roman. And it's unfortunately with Jay, like Jay's just in his mode, like he's just pumped up and he's ready. But I don't even pay attention to what Jay's doing. My eyes are always looking at between Paul and Roman. That's who I see. And the interaction between those two is just great. Paul jumping like he was scared just was like one of the greatest parts of that entire segment.
Well, I will tell you something in regards to Jay Uso. Every time I see him, I joke around with my son, because my son be looking like you need to give him a task or something. That's what I feel when I see Jay Uso. Can somebody give him a task? Because he's apparently ready for something. Like, someone give him something to do. Let that man hold some shit. I don't know, assign anything, hold luggage, whatever it is. Let him just fight everybody. But that's why I tell my son when he get too busy, I say, bro, calm your Jay Uso ass down. Sit down for a second, man, because Jay is ready.
He's ready, but at the same time, because of what he does, just kind of, in that ready position, I don't spend a lot of time looking at him at all. I know he's there.
You shouldn't. That's the whole thing. I mean, he's doing his job if you're not paying attention to him.
Sure.
It means he's present in the moment, but he's not stealing the focus.
Right.
Heyman does pretty much the same thing, but he also does very subtle things, like the camera pulled back right as Kevin got into the ring. Paul got out of the ring first, saving his ass first, then proceeded to yell to Roman, "Watch out behind you," as he was getting fucking hit. So it's smart shit like that that plays well. So before that, then we had a wonderful little thing of the Intercontinental Championship. So if you want to talk about Paul Heyman, let's talk Talking Smack.
Okay.
Because
I didn't watch it.
Paul Heyman put it out there to Big E, you're not main eventing WrestleMania. And you know what you should be thinking about? Main eventing WrestleMania next year against my guy. And you didn't, you're not facing him, so you shouldn't feel proud of what you've done yet. You know, it should piss you off that you're not in the main event role.
Yeah.
So I urge people to continue after SmackDown, watch Talking Smack, because they are doing so much on that show to set up, things that you don't get to see them setting up on, SmackDown. And it's way more entertaining than, some of the stuff that you'll see.
Yeah.
That Intercontinental match was fucking just spot on again. Sami Zayn doing his fucking best. Apollo Crews,
well,
he's there.
What are you talking about? He did a freaking moonsault off the apron. I thought it was pretty darn. It was a good little distance from there. I don't know. Maybe I just want Apollo to do well.
Look, Apollo's doing well. The problem is that I don't know what Apollo can really do to stand out. He's doing what he needs to do, but it's not working, if that makes sense.
He needs a manager. He needs a manager. He needs a manager. He needs a manager. Paul Heyman.
Everybody can't have Paul Heyman.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I mean, who else do we have other than Paul Heyman? I'll wait. Does he need a...
You do something simple. You put Apollo Crews and Bobby Lashley together so that
the Bald Brothers.
We just, either one of them, whoever, whatever, and that's perfect for them together. Because you invest that much into Apollo that you do in Bobby Lashley. And by the way, that's a pretty accurate statement based on this. How many times you walked down the street and ever seen anyone wearing a Bobby Lashley t-shirt? Never. Okay, so the women's division looks spectacular when you've got Bianca and Sasha in the same ring together with the sommelier, who really has more personality and charisma than Carmella, which is fucking sad.
Yep.
Carmella standing in the ring after he got his ass kicked and thrown out and kind of laughing at him.
Yeah.
And then just standing there looking clueless while Bianca and Sasha had their moment. I really would have actually paid Uncle Bruce, if you were listening. I would have paid if you would have had those two just beat the shit out of Carmella and get her off TV for a while. That would have been awesome. It would have been nice. Did a Lucha House Party wrestle or someone like that? I don't know.
Not on SmackDown, I think. Did they?
I don't know. I figured that they wrestle at some point in the week. So,
but not. It wasn't.
You had a title match though for the tag team championships, in which you had that hot tag team of Otis and Chad Gable lose. So that was brilliant booking. Let's build these guys up to lose to the tag champs right now.
Now, was that the first time you heard the music with Rude and Dolph Ziggler? I don't know. That's the first time I heard it. Maybe I haven't been paying attention, but was that the first time their new theme music was merged like that? Like I was feeling that. I don't know. Maybe again.
I honestly cannot say that I've ever really paid attention to their ring music.
It was the
or
first
that
time
they
that I
were-
noticed it as well.
Yeah, it was totally merged. It literally started off like Rude's glorious music, and they added "Steal the Show." I think that's what was said in the background. It just sounded cool. They're trying to get coordinated as a official tag team.
Listen, I was surprised at the end of the match when they held up the titles, because until that point I didn't realize that they were the tag champions. So
Damn, man, you old heck, bro.
I mean, being honest, when I see something that I just go, oh shit, they were tag champs, I was like, I guess so. The smart thing they did is have the private party, Street Profits, whatever, those guys on commentating.
Easy now, easy.
Let's just say that I'm
Man.
sure Matt Hardy's taking 10% from those guys too. So,
What about the rematches?
but you know, the commentary was a nice little touch, especially that it was straight on babyface commentary. Yeah, man. Bailey, boy, Bailey, damn.
That
She-
finisher she did was on point. I was like, oh.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
It hit me as Sasha was talking that, boy, it must suck to be the fourth best four horsewoman. You know, because she's behind Charlotte, she's behind Becky, and she's behind Bailey. I mean, and the thing is that hopefully this kind of elevates her a little bit more, but it's going to elevate Bianca a little bit more. And Sasha, to me, has never established herself the way that she should have been established. Bailey just had a fucking almost 400-day run as champion and did some of the best work you've ever seen her do. And before that was a John Cena-esque fan favorite coming up through NXT. And then you had Becky, who's at the prime of her fucking, you know, what she can do and how beloved she is. And Charlotte's probably the best woman wrestler of all time. So it's just interesting that Sasha, it just kind of hit me, because I'm like, you know what? You could switch out Bianca for Sasha in the four horsewomen and it'd be the same thing.
But you also have to look at it too. If you, well, I'm just going to tell you, you do make some excellent points, but I got to defend Bay a little bit. Bay is probably
He's
a little.
on Tuesday nights.
I'm not talking about Chris Bay, ass clown. Anyways, I'm talking about what I call Sasha Banks, but she is, out of the three, somebody that's a little bit more in the spotlight, and I feel like they should pull more towards that. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not a huge fan of the laugh, and I love me some Sasha Banks. I don't like the whole Cruella DeVille laugh. I'm not really feeling that. That's just not my thing. I'm gonna be real with you, but I do feel like she's a yet to be determined, or to reach her prime. I think a lot of people say, oh, but she's reached her prime. Yeah, she's done a lot of great things, but I still feel like, I mean, I honestly feel her playing with Carmella fucked up everything. And I'm saying it with an emphatic fucked up everything. I didn't to be who she had to go with next. To me, that fucked up a lot of momentum. That's just my opinion. You know, that was a waste. And the fact that it had to be wasted twice, almost could have been 3 times. Thank goodness we're not going to see it for a third time. You know,
Wait, you don't think we're going to see that for a third time?
I know we're going to see it for a third time. I'm trying to bring into reality that it doesn't happen a fucking third time. But my point is exactly that. There's really nobody. That's why I'm excited for her and Bianca to lock up, because, like you said, it will help. You know, it is going to elevate Bianca ultimately, but it's a good opportunity to help Sasha as well. Because, I mean, come on, man. Carmella was like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me because I'm too close.
Yeah, it's you because you're too close.
Maybe. That's fine. I'll admit it. I'm aware.
Shout out to the Cesaro match with Daniel Bryan.
Yes.
Cesaro just I don't know. I guess sometimes that's the only thing that might get irritating is just how you've seen. Listen, I guess everyone is okay with him being the mid Carter, but he's just got so much more potential to be.
Who does he replace?
Who does he replace?
Yeah. If you want to elevate him and you got so much, you think he's so good, who does he replace?
Replacing Daniel,
That's the question. What?
he's going to replace Daniel Bryan when he clock out.
No, that's irrelevant. I'm saying,
talking about champion.
yeah, you're talking main. You're
yeah.
talking elevate him to the main event. Who does he replace? Roman Reigns? No, there's no way. So what do? Big E? No. So those are your two championships on that show. There you go. And then if you look at Raw, I would love to see him replace Drew, but we know that's not happening. And I would love to see him replace Lashley, but I don't know if the Hurt Business is in the line for a bald white guy instead of the bald black guy.
You know what I will say?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, in some off chance, I wouldn't have a problem, although it wouldn't lean to his qualities. Whoever Miz cashes in on that Money in the Bank on, because it's definitely going to happen. Just letting y'all know. I would like to see Cesaro face the Miz. But that's still going to happen. We don't talk about it, but it's going to happen.
The whole thing is, though, so, all right. First of all, we're assuming that the Miz cashes in and wins.
I'm almost not saying betting on it, but I have a very strong inclination that the Miz is going to cash in. And don't be surprised if it's on Roman. Yeah, it sounds crazy and preposterous. Probably not best for business. But I have a feeling that's going to happen because it's something that would turn everything upside down, and it would definitely be off a distraction or something to that sort. I'm just being honest.
Well, you know what? I appreciate your WCW 1998 booking there, but
Oh, gosh. Yes, because you know every freaking thing that is about wrestling. Yes.
Well, no, see, when you start doing shit like that, you are literally booking yourself into no reason to. When you take the head of the beast who's going at fucking 1,000 miles per hour and you put the belt on Lex Luger and then have Luger drop it right back to Hogan within 2 weeks, because that's all that's going to fucking happen. It makes no sense. It's dumb as hell. And if anything, you have to get Cesaro onto Raw, A, to separate him from Shinsuke, so that relationship isn't there anymore, and B, if you want to elevate him, Raw's the show to do it on, because it's not your number one show anymore. Your number one show is SmackDown. Those guys better be performing their ass off at the top level, and you can't elevate someone into that position. Kevin Owens is perfect for this right now. It makes so much sense because Kevin Owens does not have his reputation hurt at all. He's already built. He's showing that all he does is keep getting up from this. But Cesaro, you have to build. And like they did with Drew McIntyre, like Drew has been on Raw for a specific reason. That was the lab they could play with. And you know how I just said about taking the title off, taking the title on, blah, blah, blah. They did that with Drew and Randy. It made no fucking sense for Randy Orton to take that belt for no reason, only to drop it back to him within 2 months. It was dumb. And that's the thing that you have to deal with, is figuring out, if you have this much talent on your roster, like, listen, Cesaro's great, but he's getting older. All right. So how much are you going to invest into him in the long run? And number two, unfortunately for him, his main held back for Vince and Vince's ways is that the guy is Swiss. He's not, a good old Yankee that he could put, the shine on. So shining stars, that's what they were called.
You know what, Impact, we may need to find a replacement for Matt Michaels because he knows so much about wrestling. He probably won't even be able to do this podcast anymore once, he's going to be writing for WWE and doing booking.
Oh God,
you
no, no. I just don't want that job, man. Fuck that.
He is just all struck, all amazing.
No, no. If you're asking me to move to fucking Connecticut to be on 24-hour beckoning call to Vince McMahon, no, no. I can stay here and be around a 70-year-old man who needs my help at any point in the hour during any day, man. Instead of going tortured by Vince.
All right. Well, guys, that was SmackDown. Good stuff, Matt Michaels there. Just mentioning Ring of Honor had their show, two good matches as always they have every week. This week they had Hot Sauce Tracy Williams from the Foundation go against the world famous CB. Now, I'm actually wasn't familiar with the world famous CB, but it was fun to actually see him wrestle. He has some pretty good moves. I actually thought he was going to pull the win off with the submissions that he had on Tracy Williams, but Tracy definitely was the person to come out on top. That was a pure rules match. Those type of matches are just really fun and exciting to get a chance to see. Hopefully, if you haven't watched Ring of Honor, just look up pure rules so you can understand what all the rules are. Just more of a kind of an old school feel to the wrestling, but you would definitely enjoy it. It has a 15-minute time limit as well. So they had that match. Then the second match was an 8-man tag team match. I don't know what that was. Team one, there was Jay Briscoe, Mark Briscoe, PCO, and Brody King. And they went against Flip Gordon, Roosh, and LFI. So that ended up being a no contest because shit just went out the just went crazy in there. They went out the ring, and then they just went insane. Tables, chairs, bells, whatever they can get their hands on, they was attacking each other. And PCO, every time he flips off the top rope onto a table, it is one of those things I'm like, PCO, why do you do that? I mean, I'm glad he loved this. I'm glad he's in good health, man. But just knowing his age and everything, I just be like, man, it just seemed like it really doesn't fade him. I mean, he's right back at it. So it's great to see him still doing this thing. That was this past week's Ring of Honor. Good stuff. The foundation, the rest of the foundation that was watching earlier, they saw how the end of this 8-man tag team, and they were just disgusted at what they were seeing. The whole point of the foundation is they believe that Ring of Honor, there should be this respect and this true honor, and you go in the ring and you handle your match. There shouldn't be count out. You shouldn't be using tables and chairs. You shouldn't be, that's why I guess they go by the name the Foundation. How wrestling, I guess, was from the beginning or some point. But nevertheless, they was watching that and they were disappointed. So we'll see where this story goes with that. But that was ROH. Over to New Japan, not too much going on, but Sin City, I just thought that I would mention. It seems like these guys are definitely shopping for airtime. What seemed to be happening. So I got this from Fightful, and they titled this that New Japan was in talks with Vice and ESPN about TV deal, and then the deal with Roku. It's not exclusive. And it just reached that the news broke about New Japan. They reached a distribution deal with Roku over a new weekly series that will air on the Roku channel. And this is just the first American distribution deal the promotion has had since losing to Access TV, which is the current home of Impact Wrestling. It does say, however, that Roku was not the only platform the promotion had spoken to regarding a potential television deal. And of course, according to Dave Meltzer, the company was also in talks with ESPN, Vice, and CBS Sports, among others. There was an interest by CBS Sports Network, according to the report. But the problem is that CBS with CBS was that there would have been no money offered. Man, for real, just a split of advertising availability. And as for ESPN and Vice, the lack of any proof of viewership numbers during the promotion's time on Access TV ultimately led to no deal being made. So I guess you definitely got to have the proof, or willing to accept, less to get going. But they are shopping, man. They're trying to get somewhere to get their product onto television.
Yeah, it definitely worked out against them that Access TV was not listed with the Nielsen company. So because had they been listed with Nielsen, then there would be proof as to what their viewership was.
So how does
while they were on Access TV?
How does Impact get its numbers now? Are they listed on Nielsen
they are now?
Okay.
Of course.
Damn.
Yeah.
Because again, Impact owns the network.
Yep.
So of
Sure,
course,
yeah.
But
I didn't know that I thought they still didn't have Nielsen or why they wasn't on. Okay.
No,
right,
they're in a good situation now, but
got you.
So if Access TV would have been a part of the Nielsen, submitted their numbers to Nielsen and had that stuff done, then who knows? We could be looking at New Japan on ESPN Plus. But as we are right now, you got to have a Roku box in order to get their TV show, which incidentally does start. If you happen to have a Roku, the weekly series debuts every Thursday, starting on February the 11th. And the show is slated to air 5 p.m. Eastern in the US, Canada, and the UK. So if you have a Roku and you don't have New Japan World and you want to, get your New Japan fix, right there on the Roku channel, 5 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a 1-hour show every week.
Nice.
Or wait for New Japan talent to show up on AEW every week to draw the ratings.
Hey,
we'll see. Hopefully that does happen.
That really sucks too, because at the end of the day, I mean, Roku is inexpensive to get at Walmart. You can get one for $5. But even still, it's just like, man, I got to go buy another goddamn thing,
Right.
To Japan. Well, but if it's Roku, at least I know it's cheap.
Right. I mean, the thing is, like, I have a Fire Stick because that just happened to be what I chose for my over the top supply, repository, if you will, for all of my streaming services. Not suppository, Michaels.
Okay.
Yeah. Keep up, linguistics. So yeah, it just sucks because obviously I like having the Fire Stick because they have the app for New Japan World on there. So if I want to watch the 1-hour show that's on Roku, then I'm going to have to go out and get a Roku now. So, but as you mentioned, Street, they're like $5. So whatever.
Yeah. Or maybe you're lucky and you found the cheapest 4K TV, a Roku TV.
There you go.
So.
Yeah, well, there you go with that. As we get ready to come to the conclusion of our wrestling talk, we got the unfortunate news of the passing of Butch Reed, who was a part of WWE. He was also the former WCW World Tag Team Champion. He passed away at the age of 66. Matt Michaels, is there anything you kind of want to add to Butch? I wasn't too familiar with them at all, but it'd be great if you can add some context to this.
Well, I think the biggest thing about Butch Reed is that you have to go back to when the Junkyard Dog was gobbled up by WWF. And Hacksaw was down in the Southern Territory and basically stepped into that role of being the babyface African-American wrestler who drew a lot of money down there.
Mm-hmm.
And like all good talent in that period, you were offered a ridiculous deal by the WWF. So you take it, and they bleach blonde his hair, called him the Natural. He never rose out of the ranks of wrestling guys like Billy Jack Haynes and wrestlers along that line, like the Hercules level. His big feud was with Ronnie Garvin. So he only lasted, I think, all in all, it was about 2 years, and made his way to WCW. And that's when they put him together with Ron Simmons. They formed Doom. They gave him Teddy Long. It was one of the best tag teams that has ever existed.
Yes.
Okay.
As soon as they lost the Hoods, it was, because they did the same thing that everyone does with guys who are hooded tag team guys that wear the same gear and have the same hoods. That is, apparently you cannot tell the bigger, taller guy from the smaller guy.
Right.
Just never goes to fail. So
yeah,
Doom, they won the tag team championships. That was probably the most highlighted point of his career out of the the old indie or the old circuit scene. And over the years he was around. He wrestled, I think, until 2001 on the Independents, somewhere around there. The last time I think he showed up was right around the time they were doing the Hall of Fame with Ron Simmons going in.
Okay.
And he's one of those guys who will never get the due that he should get. I really think that you're going to see him go into the WWE Hall of Fame on that tier of people that they don't have in the ceremony, just people they just kind of put in
Sure.
on that secondary list, like King Kong Bundy.
Mhm.
So that's probably what will happen with him. He's got a great legacy. Hopefully, people will wake up to the fact that he was a good wrestler, seek out some of his stuff, and there's a lot to learn from guys that was in his position, because he was one talented guy. And funny enough, I think that Ron Simmons owes a lot to Butch Reed, because by teaming with him, Ron learned so much, because at that time he was very young in the business, and Butch was a seasoned veteran. And that was one of the best pairings that I think they saw enough in Ron Simmons to then eventually trust him in becoming the heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a shame. And the way 2021's going, this won't be the first and last. So
right. Well, we will we'll definitely remember him, and like you say, go check out some of the past videos that they have, more likely on the net, and get to see his work. So definitely may rest in peace. As we end the show, we want to remind everyone that if you don't have our app, to just go download it. It's free. It's on both your Android and on iOS. Apple iPhones, just download them, and you'll have it there. Possibly like weekends coming up where we have these pay-per-views, we may jump on, and if so, we will definitely let you know. We may even jump on during the regular weeks, which is good to have it. It's a good way to communicate with us while we watch the shows, and we try to keep it pretty entertaining and fun while we watch that. Also, you want to help support our show, and you have the Cash app. Just use the tagline Vegas Bad Boys with a Z, and throw in whatever amount you like. I mean, from $1 to 1,000, anything that you want to throw in, please do. All that money is just helping us promote ourselves, to grab more listeners to enjoy what you enjoy. So please do that as well. Coming up, tomorrow's download will be the 3 count. It's going to be 3 good topics, so make sure you download that as well. Okay. With that, thank everybody for listening, and we'll see